Hello everyone and welcome to the Apple rumor site. Today, we've brought some amazing news according to the iPhone 13 rumors and leaks. This time, we've sourced the leaks from a famous YouTuber called Philip in Everything Apple Pro. And right now, we've brought you with over 50 rumors and leaks for the iPhone 13 which you can expect. They are all from the reliable sources from John Prosser, Max Weinberg, and etc. Let's get started. Firstly, we've got the rumor that portless iPhone might happen, but there's a chance that port remains. We also got the rumor that there will be 4 models for iPhone 13. The Mini, the Standard, the Pro, and the Pro Max. And speaking of Pro, iPhone 13 Pro is to have the same size lens as iPhone 12 Pro Max. Unlike this time, where the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max had the different size lens, where the 12 Pro Max had advantage, but the iPhone 13 Pro is going to have the same size of the lens as the current iPhone 12 Pro Max. Fourthly, which is a great news during the pandemic season, because Touch ID is actively being tested by Apple. But that doesn't mean that Face ID is going away. Face ID is here to stay along with the in-display Touch ID technology where Apple is developing. And we also got the news that MagSafe is going to be improved. And some fact, Apple is also testing on foldable phones, just like the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip with hinge, which looks like a Galaxy Z Flip. And when unfolded, it's going to be about as the size of an iPhone 12 Pro Max. We also got an announcement that there will be a smaller notch finally. We are going to have that smaller notch with bigger space for the screen. Apple is going to cram in the components into a smaller space. And oh my gosh, this is definitely a great one. 120 Hz is finally happening. And since they are going to use Samsung's LTPO display, of course AMOLED, it's going to be really great. Yes, 120 Hz is happening for iPhone 13 Pro. And as they are using Samsung's LTPO display, they could also enable AOD or always on display. However, it is going to have very minimal customization. Then we've got the announcement of sensor shift stabilization is coming to the entire lineup of iPhone 13, which is amazing because for the iPhone 12 there's only sensor shift stabilization for iPhone 12 Pro Max. However, speaking of the cameras, the big changes this time, instead of the wide angle lens, the big changes are coming to ultra wide and telephoto lenses. And the iPhone 13 are going to use in-house 5G modem to replace Qualcomm's X50 5G modem. Just like what the Apple did with M1 to replace their already good Intel chip for their MacBook, they are going to use a lot of in-house chips, which are going to lower down the cost of manufacturing. Speaking of manufacturing, the whole iPhone is going to be completed manufacturing and will be announced in September without delay. And Apple although they might not be including the charger in the box as they already started the trend. But they might use gallium nitride charger, which would seriously bring down the size of their charger, which is definitely a good news. A15 Bionic chip is reportedly having the use of 5nm plus tech. However, 4nm and 3nm is coming in the near future, but not this time around. For the iPhone 13 Pros, I mean the Pro and the Pro Max, they are going to have a seriously amazing looking matte black. It is getting refined from the space gray to graphite, and this time it's going to be matte black. And speaking of getting refined, the back glass of the iPhone is also getting refined for the matte. It's going to have similar feeling as the Google Pixel's matte, like a soft matte according to Philip. And speaking of this whole matte back thing where everybody loves, Apple is also reportedly working on titanium alloy casings for the iPhone. Therefore, they are going to have matte titanium, which is going to feel amazing. And several sources say that AOD is confirmed, but again, with minimum customization, just like what is on the Apple Watch. Of course, MagSafe is getting stronger, which is confirmed again by multiple sources. Oh, on the side note, Apple is actually working on astrophotography, which is going to be amazing because the competitions are already having the point to the sky and shoot astrophotography feature that where they can capture the amazing star easily, and we are looking forward that the same thing is happening to the iPhone 13. To reiterate, ultra wide is getting the royal treatment, and that includes an upgrade to 6-piece lens or 6-element lens. And an exciting thing is portrait video is finally happening with the change the depth of field in post. Yes, there's only going to be one feature according to Philip. However, this actually needs serious processing power, and glad to see that Apple is working on this, because Apple actually had this in the pipeline for a long time according to him. And since the ultra wide is getting the royal treatment, its low light performance is improving, and its aperture is getting better from f2.4 to f1.8. And the telephoto lens is to be the same for both 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. This time for the 12, we had two different telephoto lenses, where the 12 Pro had the 2 times optical zoom and the 12 Pro Max had 2.5 times optical zoom. And oh my gosh, would you believe this? If you have observed, Zach from Zero Rig Everything, yes, when he tore down the previous iPhones, he also mentioned that there were no vapor chamber or chambers or whatever cooling system. But this time, according to the rumor, the iPhone 13 are going to add the copper vapor chamber, which is going to be a serious improvement for cooling technology. But still now, I was saying that it was iPhone 13. But according to the rumor, it might be called as iPhone 12s. This might be because 13 is not a good number in the West. Sadly, periscope zoom is not happening, but fortunately it will happen, and it will happen in the near future, and Apple is working seriously on a very, very good periscope zoom. The camera layout is identical for the 13 Pro Max, 13 Pro, and yes, the rest. And the under-display Touch ID is happening. However, instead of some high-tech ultrasonic sensors like what Samsung Galaxy S21 series is having right now, Apple is going to use optical. It could be because it is kind of cheaper. 12 mini, the iPhone 12 mini, unfortunately didn't sell quite well because it only sold the 5% of the total iPhones sold. However, Apple decided to make it survive till the iPhone 13, which could be called as iPhone 13 mini. And great news. Although Apple doesn't offer expandable storage, it is finally making 1 terabyte happening, which is so cool. And speaking of happening, 240 hertz, not touch sampling, but refresh rate. Have you ever heard of 240 hertz refresh rate? It is coming in the near future. And these kind of high refresh rate coming, 120 hertz coming for the iPhone 13, would suck up a lot of battery. And iPhone, they are a bit notorious for having smaller battery than the competition. Like even iPhone 12 Pro Max doesn't even have a 4000 milliampere battery. It is smaller than that. But this time Apple is going to improve the battery. And speaking of battery drain, yes, 5G drains the battery a lot, but since they are going to improve the battery in the near future, it might not be iPhone 13, but in the near future they will be coming out with 6G, which is going to be 100 times faster than 5G. But till now we had a little bit older rumors. From now we are going to have kind of newer rumors from Everything Apple Pro. But before we start on speaking this, unfortunately, Apple made stricter guidelines to control the leaks and the rumors. I think this is because too many leaks and rumors were happening these days. So Apple went to stricter guidelines in order to control and doing whatever they could to stop all the leaks because they don't like it. But speaking of leaks, one biggest leak I'm thinking that it is so cool is that the notch, instead of getting shorter, it is reportedly having to get narrower, which is going to look cute. You could see that in Philip's video, but yeah, you get the idea. And on top of notch, the earpiece will be sitting on the top of the iPhone instead of just right across the notch. And quite contrary to the previous rumors, the camera layout will not have flat glass, but they would have individual protrusion, but they would protrude less. And Apple reworked the graphite color, yes, as I said, so the matte black is coming. Then Apple is experimenting with orange, which might sound a bit strange, but yes, that could be happening. But that could be happening, but there is not high chance for that to happen, unfortunately. But according to the renders of the Everything Apple Pro, the renders looks a bit nice, but he said that renders are not representing the exact color. Okay, anyways, next we have new and improved coating on stainless steel frames, which could make possibility of fingerprint smudging less. Okay, recently when I saw all the videos about this iPhone 12 Pro series, one of the really common complaint was the fingerprint smudging onto the frame, and yeah, oh my gosh, they look dirty. But yeah, hope that this method would solve it. And there are some OIS, optical image stabilization correction mode coming into the software. And speaking of OIS, sensor shift is happening on ultra wide lens. Oh my gosh, this is really rare, because it is really hard to make a OIS onto this kind of new ultra wide sensor. If you go to places like GSM Arena and check for the phones with the OIS on the ultra wide, you are not going to find anyone. But sensor shift on, like, not just OIS, but sensor shift on ultra wide is going to be so cool. And speaking of cool, yes, portrait mode is getting better. Portrait mode on iPhone was the king of the portrait of the competition, because iPhone had the best telephoto camera for the portrait mode and had the best software for the portrait mode as well. But it's getting even better because of the better software and the lighter scanner on the Pro models. iPhone 13 mini is going to have a bigger battery. And speaking of battery, the portless thing might not happen. However, they are still going to use Lightning, and there's no chance of USB-C happening. As you know, Apple notorious for using Lightning, sticking with Lightning, not changing to USB-C with its phones. And MagSafe physical port on iPhone was leaked, so we could have at least a better way of charging than this old and low quality Lightning port. iPhone 13 would be heavier with bigger battery, because it would have bigger footprint, and lighter sensor, as I said, is only for the Pro models. And finally, iPhone 13 is going to support Wi-Fi 6E, which is going to be faster and better than the already existing Wi-Fi 6. Thank you for listening to today's summary, and hope you guys stay safe and enjoy our content regularly. Thank you. Bye.